Amen. It's good to see you all. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Craig, and I help to lead our network. And man, it's so good to be here together after 2 years not being able to have ResCon last year. This afternoon, we get to kind of transition from this idea of Jesus as Lord into exploring what this means, that we are the church, right? And you've been talking about that theme a little bit. You might have some ideas about that. But before we go there, I want to have a little family conversation. Can we do that? Is that cool? We talk about the church, or is this like Thanksgiving dinner where you just don't talk about it, right? It's too heavy, right? Maybe if it helps, you can think of me as Uncle Craig. Is that not, that's weird? That's weird? Okay, I get it. Message received. I get it. It's weird. But hey, let me ask you a question. What is the church? Don't answer right away. Think about it for a second. And don't just say the churchy answer. Say the real answer. What is the church really to you? Think about that for a second. I want you guys to answer honestly, what is the church based on your life? All right, so I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I want you to think about it, and then I want you to share with the person next to you. What is the church? Take a few minutes to answer that question to yourself and then to your neighbor. All right, we aren't looking for the perfect answer. We're looking for the real answer. So take a few minutes and share with the person next to you. What's the church? Have a little conversation, a little family chat. All right, you got some ideas? We're talking about it. Conversation started. So what is the church? Is it a person, a place, a thing? Is it a building, an event, an organization? The Bible teaches that the church is a who. It's the people of God. Bought with the blood of Christ, born into a new identity, a new family, a new purpose, a new story. It's the people of God, the eternal people of God, purchased by the cross of Christ. So why is it that so often we don't treat it that way? What was your answer? Was that the answer that you gave, that it's the people of God? Might have been my answer. I probably would have said that, but maybe my life would tell a different story. Maybe my life would make it look more like something I attend as an individual that's really there for my spiritual benefit to help me grow. A series of events that I partake in. But maybe not my identity as a son of God, born into the family of God. Why is it that so often we treat the church like a social club full of a calendar of events to attend that we can come and go from? Or maybe even worse, we treat it like a bottom line business that exists just to exist. It's really just there to gain more members and keep them happy. What is the church? Do we really see it as a people of God? What if the church has drifted from the picture that Jesus had in his mind on the cross? What if the church has become a little bit too much of us and not enough of him? And can we recapture the powerful, pure, unfiltered bride of Christ. This unstoppable force that exists for the good of the world. Is that possible? 2 years ago, we gathered together at ResCon 2020, and we talked about a limitless God who had a vision for a limited people to be able to proclaim his glory throughout the world and become the kind of church that might just maybe, prayers up, become spark a once-in-a-generation movement of the gospel. Maybe. That was our prayer. And then 1 month later, the whole world shuts down, right? The whole world shuts down from the COVID-19 pandemic, and man, everything we knew about church shifted. All the ways that we gathered, all the ways that we participated in programs changed, and we couldn't gather and participate the way we'd always known. And unfortunately, for many of us, we discovered something. We discovered that church was more about what we do than who we are. And when those programs, those habits got taken away, we didn't know what to do with ourselves. We were lost. We're like that person who goes to the gym only when the conditions are right. You, like me, maybe. Is that you? Right? It's got to be the right day. Got to be the right temperature. Got to have the right outfit. Got to have the right equipment. Got to have the right partner. Otherwise, you ain't going. Right? Because it's not your identity, right? You're not an athlete. You're not trying to see yourself as a fit person. It's just something you do when the conditions are right. Sometimes church can be like that. Or is it our identity? Is it who we are? And so no matter what happens, no matter the conditions, no matter the circumstances, we are who we are, and we do what the church does. What is the church if we can't gather in rows? What is the church if we can't have live preaching or live worship? What is the church if we can't go to a certain place at a certain time to hear from a certain person? Do we still know how to be the church? Now, 2 years later, we stand at the edge of a new tomorrow, right? We're looking to the future and we're wondering, is it bright? Is it dark? Or is it better? Is it harder? We don't know. We don't know. But what we do know is that we remain God's people. And his call hasn't changed. And our identity hasn't changed. We are still the blood-bought people of Christ. And we have a purpose in this world. And let me tell you something. In the future, we might be known for great events. We might be known for big crowds. We might be known for compelling worship and powerful preaching and all these things that maybe the modern church looks like and that we want to be good at and we want to be known for in some ways. But man, if that's not the case, let me tell you a little secret. Most of world history, in most places, the church hasn't been known for those things. The church has been known as a people who live differently in light of a God who died on their behalf. A people with love that is compelling and attractive and different than the world around them. So can we be that? Can we be that kind of people? No matter what the future holds, I'll tell you one thing that's never changing. Our God remains and we are his people. And he has a purpose for us. And so as we explore this afternoon and this evening what it looks like to be the church in the world right now, in our time, in our place, with our lives, I want you to ask yourself, do I know what it really means to be the church? Do I know what it means to be more than an individual in this society? And as we hear from Jacob and he unpacks this idea of our identity and our purpose as the church, and I just want to challenge you to take a few minutes before we go there and meet with God. Ask him to show you what the church is all about. Because I think we need new imagination for it. We need new imagination for how to be the church in our time and our space, to be used by God to change the world around us. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to pray, and I want you to ask you this question of yourself. Ask Jesus to help you see the church the way he sees the church. Ask Jesus to help you see the church the way he sees the church. Take a few minutes to pray, to ask God to open your eyes, open your hearts to see the church differently. Because no matter what it looks like going forward, no matter what form it might take, our identity and purpose remain secure. Take a few minutes to pray.